humans, it's our responsibility and privilege to understand these animals in a unique way and to fulfill their needs. But we have the special honor in sharing their tales to folks like you and people all around the world to shine light on their stories and to inspire you all to save them. Now, every animal has their own important role in their respective environments. They have a very special place in this world. But which is the most important and which is the most impressive? Hopefully, by the end of today's presentation, we'll be able to answer all of those questions. So without further ado, allow me to introduce you to one of our largest animals. What a great way to kick off the presentation. How about some of our largest? Okay, awkward. How about some of our smallest? Maybe? Oh, thank goodness. It worked. This is Emmett, everybody. He is one of our Eastern screech owls. But before we go any further, does anyone want to hear an owl joke?
Oh, me.
Rhea does. Well, I'm telling you one anyway. So, Emmett is quite the intellectual, but his favorite subject in school was math. More specifically, algebra. Oh, thank you for the pity claps. Makes things less awkward. I love my job. Anyways, this is Emmett, again, one of our Eastern screech owls, and we are proud to say he's one of our rescue ambassadors, and we are proud to say that over the last 5 decades, Busch Gardens and our sister parks have rescued over 41,000 animals over the last 5 decades, which is really impressive. Now, Emmett's story starts out when he is just a wee little lad, a little smaller than he is now. But he unfortunately fell out of the nest before he was able to fly. But owls have a very unique adaptation called imprinting. So a good Samaritan brought him to a rehabilitation facility. And owls, when they imprint on someone or something, it means they rely on the security and safety of that other individual. And, of course, for Emmett here, he just so happened to imprint on a human. And for that reason, the Florida government did deem him non-releasable. But now he calls Busch Gardens his home. Now, he has some pretty cool other adaptations that I could show off to you, like his camouflage. We're kind of having a staring contest, not anymore though. But when Rhea sets him right in front of me, he kind of sticks out like a sore thumb in front of my very beautiful teal shirt. But if I were to step to the side and Rhea puts him to this background, he blends right in. He essentially disappears. Now, Eastern screech owls are nocturnal predators, which means they hunt from dusk to dawn. And in the low lit hours of which they hunt, they're teeny tiny size, and that beautiful camouflage of theirs, they make for excellent predators. So if you're a rodent rummaging through the nighttime, you may not know your dinner until it's too late. If you don't think that's cool, well then, we don't give a hoot. Alrighty, I'm sorry, I know I have to do a lot of owl jokes for this presentation, but I'm stretching myself thin here. He's ready to finish off his slumber for the day, so everyone, let's bid Emmett a hoot. Had to throw one more in there, you know? So, from meats like what Emmett eats to nuts or fruits or grains, you name it, we have an entire nutrition center team dedicated to preparing diets for every animal here in the park. But first and foremost, our veterinary team properly analyzes and approves every single diet that gets distributed. We have over 2,000 residents that call Busch Gardens home, and our nutrition center team prepares over 3,000 pounds of food a day. I know, the hippo's pretty cool, right? They spend hours every single day washing, preparing, slicing, dicing, and separating all of those respective food groups to whoever gets their diet that day. And every diet can vary based off of species, age, and even personal preferences. But regardless, every diet that gets sent out is just as unique as the animals that eat them. So speaking of unique, allow me to introduce you to Mel. This is Mel. He is our 3-year-old short-beaked echidna. Now, I have a question for you folks, just by looking at him. What do you think he's most closely related to in the animal kingdom? Porcupine, I've heard hedgehog, a couple video game characters here and there, but spoiler alert, they're actually closely related to the platypus, which is kind of weird. They look nothing alike, right? But they do have a couple key similarities. One being that they're both endemic or can only be found in the continent of Australia. But the thing that makes them closely related is that they are both monotremes, which is a small class of mammals that doesn't give live birth. Rather, they lay eggs. That's right, folks. Female echidnas lay eggs. I'm not echidna-ing you. No, all right. Do we have a laugh track? Awesome, well, that was great. Well, anyways, Mel was born, rather hatched right here at Busch Gardens. And we are proud to say that Busch Gardens has one of the most successful breeding programs for echidnas in the entire world. But there's only about 5 monotreme species in the entire world, so not much is known about their reproduction. But what we do know is this: a female echidna will lay one single egg, roughly the size of a grape, and it's going to stay inside of her pouch for about 10 days. And after those 10 days, that egg is going to hatch. And fun fact, a baby echidna is called a puckle. So once that puckle hatches, it's going to go back inside mom's pouch for another 50 days or so to keep her and her little ones safe. And the mom's going to dig tunnels and burrow while doing so. So speaking of digging and burrowing, let's see if Mel will let us take a look at his nails. Yeah. He's got really long nails, and you may notice that his limbs kind of face sideways. So those are 2 adaptations that echidnas have to make them really efficient diggers. It's actually estimated that a single echidna can move up to 7 tons of dirt in a single year. And in doing so, they're naturally tilling the soil and rearranging the nutrients in that soil to keep their ecosystems healthy from a producer or plant base. So long story short, just by being Mel's most unique self, he's making a huge impact on the world. Now, he is one of our crepuscular species, which means that he's most active during dawn and dusk. So I think he's ready to finish his slumber off as well. So everyone, let's bid him in Australian, "G'day, mate." So cute. Now, Mel and Emmett alike both had really cool adaptations, but what are adaptations exactly? They're any kind of characteristic that helps an animal to survive in the wild, but it can also create a specialized role in their ecosystems to help their environments flourish. Quills can be an adaptation, or camouflage, maybe loud calls or silent wings. But even subtle things like what an animal eats and how they behave can be considered adaptations. For instance, our black rhino jody is a solitary species. But on the other hand, we have Asian elephants as well that are social or gregarious animals, which means they're going to rely on each other to learn social and survival behaviors. But every animal has their own unique adaptations of their own, including this next wonderful ambassador, Ray. I know, right? Oh, this is Ray. He is our wonder-old Virginia opossum. Now, we had a pretty positive response to the audience today, but generally speaking, people typically view opossums as pests. But actually, I think the more appropriate term would be more like pest control. You see, opossums are what we call opportunistic scavengers, which means if the opportunity were to arise, they can scavenge and eat pretty much anything they come across. And they take that to a whole nother level because they're also omnivorous. So they eat many species of plants and animals. But opossums have a pretty cool specialty of consuming ticks, believe it or not. It's actually estimated that a single echidna can consume up to 85% of the ticks they come across in a single season. And in doing so, they're reducing the spread of Lyme disease, which is incredibly beneficial for their ecosystems, but it's also beneficial for humans as well. If you ask Rio or myself, it's kind of like a superpower. But Ray here doesn't have any CGI fights with any name-brand superheroes. He does have a lore of overcoming a troubled past. You see, Ray is one of our other rescue ambassadors here at Busch Gardens, and he and his sister were both found on the side of the road after their mother was unfortunately struck by a car. But A good Samaritan brought Ray and his sister into a rehabilitation facility. I kind of threw that word around with Emmett as well, but that basically means it's a facility that raises animals until they're old enough to be released into the wild again. And when it came time for that inevitable release, Ray's sister, born to be wild. Girl, she ran like the wind, but Ray, on the other hand, really liked the air conditioning and the free health care, the Uber Eats, getting fed on a silver spoon. May I go on? But even though he had the same opportunities to be released into the wild like his sister, he decided to call Busch Gardens home. But now he is a great ambassador species for native species here in Florida. But not every adult opossum is gonna share the same fate as Mr. Ray here, but every adult opossum you ever come across has to overcome many challenges to reach adulthood. Now let's start from the very beginning. A female opossum can give birth to up to 20 offspring at a time, and those offspring are roughly the size of honeybees. They're gonna stay inside of mom's pouch for a period of time until they get too big. Then they're hitching a ride on mama's back. And there, they're gonna learn survival behaviors from their mother, like scavenging and hiding. But if a predator were to stop on by, or a baby accidentally lets go, mama is not stopping the car to turn around. So out of those 20 or so joeys or offspring, it's estimated that only 1 to 2 of them are going to reach adulthood. So just know that any adult opossum you ever see in the wild has to overcome many trials and tribulations to get to where they are today. Now, with that being said, I think Ray is ready to finish off his lunch behind the scenes. So everyone say bye, Ray. Bye, Ray. Bye, Ray. I love you. So, conservation is a huge aspect of what we do as a field. Many species have been saved from the brink of extinction, and we have inspiring stories to tell, like the California condor, the Guam kingfisher, and the black-footed ferret. Busch Gardens is an AZA accredited facility, which is one of the highest accreditations any zoo can receive. So we participate in many global conservation efforts like SSP, or Species Survival Plan, where we promote biodiversity for our endangered and critically endangered species, like our African penguins, our tigers, and orangutans. But we also participate in the SAVE program, or Saving Animals from Extinction, where we highlight our Asian elephants, our eastern indigo snakes, and our cheetahs. Every animal in this world is worth protecting, whether they're big, small, soft, quilly, fast, or slow. So I think I can trust y'all with this confession here. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Right before those doors opened, I kind of lost this next ambassador. So can you let me know when he's on stage with me, please? Just be my eyes for just a couple seconds, because this is usually his cue to go on stage. He's quick though, like the speed of light quick. So let me know when he's on stage here with me, because he could be anywhere, okay? Why are we laughing? Oh, right on my left. All right, thank you. Thank you. Stage left, I love it. Well, that's exactly it. There is Astro. He is our 23-year-old radiated tortoise. And he gets the term radiated because of the pattern on his shell. It's a star-like pattern. Now let's talk about his shell a little bit more. Who thinks that at the end of the day, Astro can take off his shell and hang it like a backpack? No. All right, cool. Who thinks that his shell is like his mobile home? So at the end of the day, he's gonna go inside his shell, sit on the couch, and watch Netflix. Alrighty. Who thinks that his shell is a part of him and it's made out of 60 interconnected bones? Yeah. Can't go completely in or out? That's exactly it. So their shell is made out of those 60 interconnected bones, fusing with their spine and rib cage. So tortoises can feel everything on their shell, whether it's a well-placed scratch from Taylor, it could be a brush or a hose or a sprinkler. But hey, every tortoise has their own preference. Now, picture this. You might be from most parts of the world, and you might find someone that kind of looks like Astro in your backyard. You may ask yourself, is it a turtle or is it a tortoise? I ask myself that all the time. But if I were to put it in one very simple sentence, all tortoises are turtles, but not all turtles are tortoises. Duh. Let me put it in a different way. So every poodle you ever see in your life is a dog, but not every dog you ever see is going to be a poodle. You see, poodles are just one specific type of dog. Likewise, a tortoise is just one specific type of turtle. And their specificity is being specialized to be adapted to land or terrestrial environments. How I know, you may ask, is by looking at their feet. Astro is graciously demonstrating his elephantine or cylindrical feet to help him walk across the stage, but they also use those cylindrical feet to walk through the terrain. But turtles, on the other hand, are going to have webbed digits or flippers to help them swim in aquatic or semi-aquatic environments. Now, in total, there's about 49 species of tortoise in the entire world, but they're only on 5 of the 7 continents. The 2 continents you will not see a single species of tortoise in is one, essentially quote-unquote, is surrounded by water. And since tortoises are only well adapted on land, they can't really migrate over an entire body of water to get to that continent. So there you have it. But tortoises are really important to any environment that they're native to. They're what we call a keystone species, which means that their presence is so important to their environment that without them, their ecosystems could struggle, but they're also engineers for their ecosystems. And when they dig tunnels and burrow, that also serves as shelters for other species in their environment. All right, okay, a couple fans for Ray, who thinks that it's Astro, where the stability of his environment is based off of where he goes to the bathroom. Yeah, all right, that's pretty sick. All right, hear me out. Who thinks that every animal is important in their own unique way, making them differently yet equally important to this planet? There we go, it's all the above. Y'all take that to school, kids. But every animal is important in their own unique way, and they have special characteristics that help them to survive and their ecosystems to thrive. They all have a very special place in this world, and so do you. We all have our own unique talents, traits, and tales to tell that make this world worth appreciating. And whether you're inspired to be the next conservationist, educator, maybe a veterinarian, but hey, maybe you want to be a zookeeper, or even just a simple change of habit, but regardless of the differences you make a huge impact on this world. In fact, just by being in those seats today, you've made a great head start. By riding rides, eating ice cream, going on tours, enjoying this presentation, you are supporting global efforts towards conservation, education, rescue, and research. So thank you all so much for letting us do what we do best, which is to celebrate and care for this world we all share. And on behalf of my coworkers, both the animal and the human, we hope you have a fantastic rest of your day right here at Busch Gardens. Goodbye, everybody.